Welcome back to Comic Book ASMR. Today we're going to be doing another comic haul video. And I've got some fun collectibles and stuff. I got a few key books. And yeah, it's going to be a little big because I missed the previous haul. Had to buy a time-sensitive Christmas gift for the family. So that's why I missed the previous haul, but all that good stuff is in this video. So we're going to start off by looking at Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man #1, which this was not initially in my pull box, but I'm glad they put it in there, because look at this crazy artwork. I'm really excited to read this. Looks like it's going to be really unique and fun. Not anything that plays into the regular continuity of Spider-Man, I don't believe. But it just looks fun and trippy and dark, and it's got this unique art style. I'm not sure if it's painted or digitally done. I'm sure it's digital, but you know, I'm easily tricked with all these new ways they make books these days. It's cool. I can't wait to read this. So check this out if you haven't. And it's kind of a little bit festive, Halloweenish. A little spooky. Next we have Spider-Man #1. And so this is Dan Slott and Mark Bagley's new Spider-Man series that the big push is they are trying to end the Spider-Verse. So, and I was mistaken. I thought it actually wouldn't have anything to do with the current Amazing Spider-Man line. In here, this is taking place right during Amazing Spider-Man. So, if you're not reading this or weren't aware of it, I guess this is kind of required reading. Which initially I wasn't too sure, because a lot of it, they can do this type of stuff and still have their own little self-contained thing. But I'm glad I got this anyway, because solid artwork, and yeah. And there's lots of cool stuff we've got. Moreland is coming back here. There's an image there. So I'm excited about that. And we have the regular Amazing Spider-Man #11 with the return of the Hobgoblin. And this is back to the regular creative team of Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. They weren't doing I guess the previous issue wasn't them, I believe. And there was like a standalone annual or something. It was a big, crazy, thick special. That was all Ed McGuinness. So they are back to tell the story with this group here. Yeah, I think it was like a Sinister Six sort of thing. So that's 11. And then, of course, we have #12. And I think it's kind of interesting that, the Hobgoblin kind of reached a pretty huge level of notoriety within Spider-Man 2, considering, it was derivative of, Green Goblin and all that sort of stuff. And they have tons of goblins now. Even now they're creating more. I think there's Gold Goblin coming out soon or something like that. So yeah, it looks like we see all the Osborn here in critical condition. And Peter has taken a job with him, and he gave him his newer suit that he has. And we have, this is the design variant here for Action Comics #1048. This is the Federici, which I love Metallo and I love Federici, so I was so happy to have this one. And yeah, we've got solid art here by Mike Perkins, I believe. And yeah, it just looks so good. He was doing, the Swamp Thing books that I was buying. And I don't know if he's going to be doing Action Comics ongoing or not, but definitely a welcome addition if he is. Because he's a really talented artist, so. And then I was able to get the previous issue's standard cover, and I still need to get this one's too. But yeah, so it's got where he looks more like George Reeves Superman here, so just kind of cool. And the top, it almost kind of reminds me of Lee Bermejo's rendition of Lex Luthor there. And then, yeah, this is the stuff that's got Federici's art in here. Which I showed off on the previous video. So then we have an image special here. This is number 6 of the ongoing Image anniversary of 30 years. So crazy. So there's all of our lineup with just kind of too many different types of art to spotlight, but definitely fun. And then here's number 7. Has this nice witches kind of homage here. It's a jock cover too, so I'm sure it probably is straight up a witches. Yeah, right there, that story. So I will do it the same way. And yeah, I just always love like all the randomness you can find with Image stuff. Not your standard superhero fare. It's always something kind of different, so if I had an unlimited budget, I would certainly buy more Image stuff. And we have, this is Immortal X-Men number 7. And then everything is still just kind of reactive from all the X-Men, Eternals, Avengers stuff. And then I saw upcoming previews. Mr. Sinister is going to have a big crossover story arc coming, so that's what's next on the horizon. And then we have X-Men number 16 with Forge here. Looks like he's got some sort of organic suit on him there. That's kind of interesting. And the art's looking really good in this too. Look at that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this too. So they're moving to make Forge a much bigger player maybe right on through to this next event with Sinister. We'll have to see. And we have Judgment Day number 6. And I could have sworn that I had already bought and read the last part. But yeah, so the Eternal, the Celestial was not impressed with Earth, and he more or less passed judgment of destruction upon everyone. And then even though he had wiped out people, he'd previously killed Captain America even, then the X-Men used their science to resurrect Captain America to make a new, I don't know what you would call it, I guess, egg or whatever. They just showed the shield busting from, the goop type of a thing. So they brought him back. So they have done the thing that they were swearing that they wouldn't do. So I'll show off one of my collectibles, and then we'll show off another black box, and then some more collectibles. So this is kind of fitting. I was able to get one of the Ghastlies that the Gastlecast had made. So these were the Error Ghastlies. Basically, it was supposed to be a glow-in-the-dark Ghastly, which is their own little character. And they were going to throw these out because the heads glowed different than the rest of the body. But rather than do that, they decided to sell them to us who wanted them. So there were 265 made, and they all said something different, whether error, trash, or fail. And the glow pin on there. And then here's the collectible inside. Here's the Ghastly. So this one's kind of got a pink sort of look to him a little bit. But I love this guy. He's great. So this is actually the first one I've gotten. They've made a few of them. They have a great documentary they put up with whenever they were selling their Gargoyle Ghastly at New York Comic Con. And yeah, you guys know I love the Gastlecast. I'll leave a link to their channel. Subscribe to them. Join their Facebook group. It's more or less like collectors helping collectors. There's no flipping, anything like that. It's more or less a place for everyone to come together and say, hey, I'm looking for this. Can someone help me out? And it's just kind of reciprocating that favor and trying to make collecting fun and fair and somewhat balanced as we can against the market of people who stockpile and resell. So pretty cool. So there's a Ghastly, and then it's got this little card too. And then there's their website and their company, mischieftoys.com. And there's the little write-up on the back of the box. And they've made a few different Ghastlies now. But they've all managed to sell out too. And then even the inside of the lid's got. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what Chris and Heather continue to do with their brand and everything. Alright, so now we're on the black box number 1, and we started off with Penguin, One Bad Day. So yeah, these always just kind of have a real dark slant to them. It's more or less like every villain's darkest story is kind of the premise here. And yeah, the first two have not disappointed. That's all I can really say. If you kind of like darker stories, and if you like pretty much any of the Batman villains, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But I haven't read this one yet, so I'm not sure kind of the bend this one's going to go on, but I can imagine if it's anything like the other two. Then we have X-Men Legends number 3. And this is a fun Mojo-verse story here. Nice 90s nod. And it looks fun. They've nailed the art style here. Love Mojo. Now, of course, I was initially introduced to him through the cartoon show, but I think he just first appeared in all that Jim Lee X-Men stuff in the 90s, I believe. If he did earlier, I don't know of it. If he did, let me know. Because I like the character, but I've only just seen him in those few Jim Lee books. And we have World's Finest, number 8. I don't know who that character is there. Oh yeah, no, this in the previous one, this kid basically watched his parents, or he could have met his parents or something and they had died. I'm trying to remember. He's basically trying to exist without his parents in this reality. I think he got transported into a different reality. And yeah, this series has been solid. The art's good, the story's good. Stuff has kind of been spinning out of this series into other things, which is kind of weird, honestly, because I felt like this was supposed to be more of a retro timeline, which, no, I guess it is, because the Batman versus Robin has come into contact with that demon god from World's Finest, but this is several years later, so I take back what I was about to say about that being all part of the same. So yeah, no, that was several years later. So yeah, Damien has unearthed the demon god, and naturally it's possessed him and put him back at odds with Bruce. So at least there's a reason behind it. Whenever I saw the initial solicits, I'm like, man, they just totally had Damien turn back to how he was. Like, that's not cool. Because that's the thing I really loved about Damien, was just kind of the character growth and, you know, seeing him transform. But yeah, this guy right here. So I was like, I can't believe they would undo all that. And they haven't. So. And we have Detective Comics number 1065. This is the Jim Lee cover, of course. And yeah, this is another one that just got some solid artwork in it. Really good stuff here. From Raphael Albuquerque here. I don't think that's the main villain. I believe this lady is right here, if I remember. Next we have Action Comics number 1048. Very bright, kind of old-timey cover here. And this is the one we had just looked at. The beautiful Mike Perkins art in there. And we have Punchline Gotham Game number 1. I think if I remember, I actually liked the regular cover better, but the shop always holds variants for me. So this cover had a more seductive pose of her, I guess. But I think I liked how she was drawn better on the main cover, if I remember correctly. And yeah, this continues on from the Joker series. There were Punchline backups. And so this kind of just continues her adventures. This is a cool image of her here. And seeing if there's any sort of backup, but no, it's all the same consistent art in that one. Then we have Gotham Knights Gilded City number 1 of 6. So this is a tie-in with the video game that just came out. It's on the next-gen stuff, so I will not be able to play it until I get a PS5. But it's certainly on the to-do list, I can assure you. And with all of these, they have a code. And in this first one, the code is for a DLC skin for a bike that you use. And then all the main covers are all Capullo covers too. They have like the Jim Lee covers that link together to make the image that they used to promote the video game with. And then these are all bagged too, like poly bagged, so just to keep the code safe. But I already pulled it out so that you could see the interiors and not have to hear me fumble with that bag. Okay. Next we have Batman number 128. This beautiful Gabriel Dell'Otto Clayface versus cover here. And this is continuing on with kind of this Batman robot. I think it's just called Failsafe, if I remember. I was just about to call the plan that. And I was like, wait, I think that's actually its name, if I remember. So you can see he's battling Superman with some, like, a kryptonite daggers. And it looks like he's just taking on the League here. We see Martian Manhunter too. Black Canary. And then, yeah, Bruce is in his Zurin Ra outfit, which is like his mental safeguard, which is all very strange. And then once again, I'm seeing if there's a backup. It looks like there is one in here. Yeah, there is. So we see kind of like some nods to some older art. Like a Dick Sprang-ish. Then we have Joker, the man who stopped laughing. This beautiful Lee Bermeo cover. And it looks like he's got the Jack Nicholson mask on there. I can't decide if I think it's Jack Nicholson. I don't see a faint mustache over it if it was Cesar Romero. But yeah, so this is kind of just continuing on with the Joker's series, only renamed, rebranded, etc., etc. So yeah, I still have a gripe that I wish that the previous Joker series ended on kind of a grander note than it did. But that's always the thing that's so hard whenever you have to deal with years of continuity. There's only so far you can push things, because there's always got to be a way to undo things that would anger people about some of their favorite elements of the stories and the characters. And then there is secondary story in here as well, with Francavilla artwork. And we have another Beyond the White Knight. This is issue number 6. We see Bruce and Harley Quinn here being intimate as they are married in this current Murphyverse. The shadow is there. And then Bruce is currently having Joker in his psyche. They kind of walk him through things. So, yeah, it's a little strange. But at the end of the day, it's still enjoyable. And we have Deceased number 3 with a X-Men number 1 Jim Lee homage cover. And of course, I can't say enough good things about Deceased. If you're not following it, I don't know what you're waiting for. I feel like this is maybe the 4th spin-off series now. This one got manhandled in the store there. So this is Young Justice number 5. I think this might even be the conclusion. So we see a Mixius Pitlick Jr. has been pulling the strings for this storyline for him the whole time. And then, yeah, I think that this is the climax. So it'll be fun to see how it ends. This has probably been the best that the current Young Justice run has been. I didn't really care for a lot of what Bendis had done with it. So, but this series was more fan service than anything. And then the fact that we got like some more Todd Knock art out of it and stuff too. Which is kind of a big deal because I believe Todd was exclusively for Marvel for a while. So I'm now going to show off something I wanted for a long time here. This is the Superman and Lois flying Funko Pop moment. This was available through Zavvi online, and I pre-ordered it, but my pre-order got canceled. And they had this at the Funko HQ. So I was really excited to get it, taking it home, looking at it. And then, yeah, so the back of the inside has the clouds and stuff. But if you'll notice here, this is a moment, right? So they're holding hands and they're flying, all this sort of stuff. They are not holding hands in this box. So that means that Lois will fall any second now. So a little bit of an oversight, which at first, like I said, I didn't think anything. I was like, wait, no, they should be holding hands. And since this is a moment, they charge like $35 for this, even though it's like just really a Funko Pop 2-pack, which should be around $20 or $25 or whatever. So they charge $35 and put it in the thicker cardboard boxes, which these are actually harder to keep where they're like in nice condition just because of like the cardboard that it's in. But mine is in good condition and stuff, so no real problem there. Just suddenly realizing they're not holding hands. But I did take them out and test. You can make them hold hands, but you have to do it with them outside of the box. So I'm happy to have this, but I just wish that they had realized that when they packaged them. So I got Animorphs. This is volume number 3, and I love spot gloss on here. You get the motion falling lines. That's a really cool touch. So yeah, and I hadn't realized it initially, but they're doing these all in order with the books, but it's literally every single graphic novel that comes out is only representing that one, little short novel. So even though the novels weren't very long, this is easily about 100 or so page. Yeah, it's like a 200-page little graphic novel here. And Chris has been getting them out about, it seems like once a year. I could be wrong. But yeah, and I think there's a lot of these. I think there's maybe 50 or so issues, not even issues, but 50 books in the Animorphs series. So if Chris is undertaking the entire series, he's got a long way to go. But he's been doing well. I really enjoy what he's doing. Looks great. And anytime they can turn a really good story into a graphic novel, I'm certainly all for that. So on to box number 2. And we have some keys at the end here. So we got Dark Crisis, Infinite Earths number 5. I believe this is the conclusion to this as well. I could be wrong. I honestly don't know what's going on in most of this, but it's more or less to kind of oversee the transition of whatever happens in DC. Anytime I read these, it's usually not, look at this image though, this is cool. With most current books, a lot of them are like, I'll read them to follow the story, but most of them I don't feel are like essential for me to keep. I just feel tethered to a lot more of the older stuff. Some of the newer stuff I like, but so, and then I'm just so short on space too. I just sold off a bunch of stuff. Didn't get much from Half Price Books. I do have some lots listed on eBay right now. I'll leave a link below. I don't know how long they'll be up though, just because previously I had listed for like 2 months, like my current X-Men and stuff like that, and no one bid, so then I had to take it to half price. I got tired of, just seeing the stuff sitting there. So I've got like a lot of the Detective Comics stuff with Bermejo's covers, since they collected them into a big old book, which was the main appeal to me for most of those single issues. So it's most of the Bermejo Detective Comics run. I think I've got it listed at 40 right now. And I mean, I started it earlier, even half price. Like, I list everything half of cover and it still doesn't sell. So, kind of annoying. So yeah, this is Nightwing number 97. And so previously, Nightwing's big bad just got his heart pulled out. And so now I don't think he's aware of that either. But he did. He got to see Dick Grayson under the mask like just moments before that had happened to him. So lots of big things happening. And then issue number 100 is coming soon, so I'm sure there'll be some big stuff there too. We have Catwoman 48. This was not in my list. This cover is fantastic. Look at that. Nice painted cover. Unfortunately, it is a little dinged. I don't know if it's showing up on camera there, but there's a crease right there. But a really nice cover. But yeah, with like the Catwomans, I usually will just read the story and then just try to sell it off. I don't need to collect them, but this cover is just really nice. I might keep it just for that cover, even though the book's kind of in rough shape. And there's like a handful of characters I consider essential to keep for the collection. So if I ever get low on space, I just kind of pull the trigger. I'm just like, is this one of the ones on my list of like my top favorites? Or is this just one I can have by the wayside? Yeah, and then I've also got the Batman Catwoman 12-part miniseries listed right now, I think for 20. And then I've got the Rocketeer miniseries for 10. And I think one more thing. So check out that link below. Buying right from the channel. And if you even wanted to do it through straight up PayPal and just say, if you looked at the listings and then just dropped a comment in the PayPal thing that says, hey, this is the issues I'm looking for, but I don't know, because if they're sold, then that might not work, but I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. So this is Captain America number 5, Sentinel of Liberty. And the whole thing with this is basically Cap, his shield was supposed to be created by some nefarious group. And then Cap used it in a way that they didn't approve of. So it's more or less him shaping it in a different positive way. And then like part of it, they say the Winter Soldier was supposed to be part of the safeguarding of it or some crazy big reveal. And then this guy in here, his name is Redacted. He was one of the people from this group, and then they more or less swayed him to join the side of our heroes. So yeah, this is pretty interesting stuff. I kind of get annoyed when they mess with Cap's mythos of just kind of the wholesome simplicity of him, but it's whatever, you know. Next we have Turtles Armageddon Game number 2. I saw Federici here. This is not the same Federici, unfortunately. I saw that, I was like, can it be? And then I looked inside, I was like, it is not. I did see recently he posted a Turtles drawing on his Instagram though, so that is what led me to believe that too. So yeah, we see this group of like dark turtles here. Looks like they're just straight up trying to kidnap Baxter Stockman here. And then we have the beautiful Saturday Morning Adventures Ninja Turtles. Nice Eastman cover. This is so pitch perfect. I love it. Really glad I was able to get it. And so yeah, Eric Burnham is writing it. He wrote a lot of like the Ghostbusters comics. Not familiar with the artist here, Tim Laddie. But yeah, it maintains the look and feel of the 80s show. And I'm not sure if this is just going to be like a 6-part mini-series or not. There's the video game reference there, the character select. And yeah, this is just fun. Oh, Mario reference there. Then we have the ongoing Turtles, number 133. Looks like it's an Armageddon game tie-in. Gunslinger number 12. I love how they've got the engraving on the gun there. It's cool cover. And so, yeah, this book opens brutal right away. But, yeah, this is just a fun series. Pretty intense. It pulls a lot of punches here. Or doesn't pull a lot of punches, rather. It's just very intense. Look at this. Brett Booth is really having a lot of fun doing these, I think. I'd say this is probably some of his best work, honestly. And he's been doing it, you know, this is issue 12 here, so. And then there's 13. Now I'm wondering if Todd has a plan to wrap all these at any point, because I know it was, you know, he had spun like 3 books in the Spawn universe out, if I remember. So I'd be curious to see if he is gonna continue on or just keep it for a year or so. I mean, this is number 13, so technically we are past that now. And yeah, this is the next issue, so it looks like it's going strong. Another Spawn one here, number 334. Nice cover on that one. So I think the last issue, they finally revealed that Spawn knows who Medieval Spawn is and everything. And I think he said he had known for a bit too, he just hadn't said anything, so I was about to say I figure he had. But, you know, the story didn't imply it otherwise, so. We've got the big Spawn Batman one-shot coming out in December. That's going to be pretty exciting. We got King Spawn, number 15. Nice, beautiful cover here, too. Look at this. I love the grittier take on Spawn. That's what really sold me on the newer stuff here. Naturally, I've always loved Todd's work, but as far as the newer stuff, like I said, I started collecting the ongoing around 222 or so. And that was when they had the much grittier style, which was not like anything else I was reading, so I'm happy that they have brought it here. Because this feels more like those stories when I started to collect it. And then we have a nice facsimile here of Spider-Man number 1. And when he meets the Fantastic Four and the Chameleon. So as you all know, these are the facsimile, so it shows all the ads and everything. And you get the full story here, faithfully recreated. So, pretty nice. So here's key number 1 here. We got Spawn number 1 finally. Not a pricey one, But yeah, it's priced at $25. They had a higher grade one for $35, but I'm not selling it, so I'm not worried about it. See, there's a bit of like fading here on the spine. But this is just for me anyway. I'm not too worried about pristine condition. But nice to finally have it in the collection. And then this is one I didn't expect to see. We have the Rocketeer #1. This was $20. Same type of thing, just affordable. And a surprise, and you guys know I love the Rocketeer, so I could not pass this up. Alright, well that's going to do it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. And as always, you all have a super slumber. Thanks. Bye.